Guys, there's nothing worse than that initial shin pain that has you wondering, do I have shin splints or are they coming on? Am I gonna be sidelined for days, weeks, maybe even a month from running? Well, I have a story from 2 weeks ago. I did the David Goggins 4x4x48 challenge.
Stay hard!
You run 4 miles every 4 hours for 2 straight days. And I had bad shin pain in the very beginning of the challenge. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did to minimize that pain such that by the end of the 2 days, I wasn't feeling anything at all. One of my favorite parts about the run experience and the community of runners we have is that we take ownership over how we run. Yes, we're all guilty of hitting that marathon shuffle at some point, that heavy pounding into the ground. We can barely pick our feet up because running is hard, and of course we're gonna hit moments there where we can't do anything but. Here's what I did though during my challenge, and I argue you can do in any run, to always reset your form and make sure you're landing in the lightest, most efficient way possible, which will in fact minimize the impact on the lower legs and give you less of a chance at incurring those shin splints or that shin pain. So I know very well and firsthand that my best run form happens when I can find that pulling motion with my feet. If you guys have watched my other videos, you know I am just so obsessed with this form because I know it works, and it works for a really long period of time. So you're gonna find between a high knee and a butt kick, we're gonna find something right between the two, which is gonna basically be a figure 4 right up the middle of the leg. Taking a couple just in here just to feel what that feels like, and then we're gonna shrink that down to a mini version of that, and that is simply gonna be how you run. So in place, it's just these mini figure 4 positions, just like that. This is gonna allow your glutes and hamstrings, your big muscle groups, to do the work and not force you to overstride or land leaned over when you run, because over time that is really gonna add up, and that is what ultimately gives you those shin splints. Here's what you're gonna do. On your next run, I don't care what distance or what amount of time you're going out for, you're gonna pick an interval system, and every so often you are gonna do 20 pulls mid-run to re-engage that form. I'll use myself as an example. In my challenge, every 10 minutes I would do 20 of the exaggerated figure 4 pulls in the middle of my run. I would still be moving forward, everything else is the same. And then I go back to my normal running after the 20 pulls. It shouldn't take more than just 20 seconds, honestly. And you don't have to do this every 10 minutes. Whatever works for you, depending on the distance you're going out for. But the point is, you are getting yourself out of that autopilot shuffle and reminding yourself, wait, how do I want to be running through the entirety of this run? And that's gonna be what keeps you on track with your form. We are down on the ground for part 2 of these exercises. I'm gonna be using these yoga tune-up balls. You can use lacrosse balls. You can even just use 2 fists. You really don't need anything if you don't have it, that's totally fine. But I do want to tell you guys that this shin pain I experienced in my challenge wasn't towards the end at mile 40, 44. It was before mile 8 that I was experiencing shin pain. So I know a lot of you guys can relate to things flaring up in that lower leg without you even seeing it coming. So what we're gonna do down here is increase blood flow to the area we just worked. That's all that's going on. We're improving the circulation. We are gonna get that recovery going a lot quicker rather than just waiting for it to happen on its own. Yes, our bodies can heal themselves. We know this. When we sleep, we come back stronger after a workout. But the same way that if you go do a hard workout or run and then go sit in your car or at the office, you let that blood kind of just sit where it was and you didn't get everything kind of moving around right after, which is the best way to make sure you're taking care of that inflammation and not letting things swell up too bad. So we're going 1 ball under the calf, kind of the side of the calf, the other right on top, so it's stacked like this. And we're gonna start by just flexing and pointing this foot. So I've got a little bit of pressure up here, not too much, but it's really up to me what I wanna do here. And I like to just start in the middle to get kind of a sense of where the tight spots are and what kind of hurts. From here, I can take some circles. I like to call this the calf smash sandwich. There's one thing I have learned in running and in working out, the area that hurts is usually not the sole culprit for the problem. So even though our shins hurt right now, it's likely not our shins' fault alone. Maybe our calves are tight. Maybe we did a lot of walking the days before, or we did a lot of sitting. But whatever it is, I know that when I started my challenge, I had been on a plane, I had been in cars, I had really been kind of locked up. And so it's up to me to get a sense of what's tight before I even go out there. And of course, sit down after the run to also take note of the same thing. So I'm always aware of the tight areas. You can see I'm gonna use this top one to kind of move now. Go up towards the knee, go down towards here. If I wanna work more of the ankle muscles, I'll go kind of just on the side, that side of the shin bone here, which is where a lot of us feel that pain. If we get some pressure there, we can put the ball on top. And again, I'll use this other hand to kind of guide to make sure I'm not rolling all over the place and get some circles. And this is just a really awesome way to, again, self-massage, get things moving quicker, really honestly just promoting that healthy tissue repair and You know, whatever you have to do next, hopefully this gets you there quicker than just waiting it out and hoping that you'll wake up tomorrow with less pain. Last thing is you can just kind of bring this up maybe towards the knee, and sometimes I'll actually extend that leg. I can do this so you can kind of bend and straighten here, but again, just 2 pressure points, or I can just leave it and circle again. But we're working all up and down here. You're gonna obviously do both sides. I loved during my challenge to do at least 3 minutes per leg, but it's really up to you, whatever you need, just using what you have. You can even use your fists. Let me show you that really quick as well on the other side. If I wanted to just plant a fist under here and get this one, even if my foot's closer to the ground, maybe it's on the ground, at least I know I'm getting those pressure points, something to work against. And it's all the same, right? We don't have to get so technical. Are we taking care of our body? That's all it is. Can we get some movement down there? You will be shocked at how much this works. It is pretty incredible. Guys, if there is one thing I have learned as a coach and as a runner, it's that we have control over our injuries. We can determine how bad we get hurt. Because if we look under the hood, we pay attention to our run form mid-run every single time, even for a few seconds, and we do a little scan post-run to know how the tissue is reacting, we are gonna be a lot better off because we're gonna understand how severe a pain might be. If you end up in the doctor's office with the x-ray and finding out that you are fractured, that the bone is in trouble, and you can't even put pressure on it for weeks or months, let alone worry about your training, you're gonna be really upset and depressed. I don't want that for you. So do things now, take accountability, and Coach Kirk did a video right over here on 3 best injury prevention exercises for the lower leg, that first place of impact when you run. Check that video out, guys. I will see you another day.